So that defense only gets better. And then you go to the offense and you're like, okay, they have the running game. Of course it's the running game, right? It's Lamar Jackson, it's Mark Ingram. They have J.K. Dobbins, who was a steal in the draft. And then you look at the receivers, okay? Well, they could use a little help in the wide receiver. Oh, well, might as well go get someone to help out.
Hey, Lutz, who did they get?
How about you throw up the X for me one time? Because Des Bryant's back.
It's the boy, Bubba, Lutz coming through. Ella, clutch, flawless, can't be touched. It's your boy, Bubba, Lutz. Yeah, I need that hot take. I need the truth and everything that is not fake. So tell me who's the
Welcome back, Bubba Bunch, to another edition of the Bubba Let's Sports Podcast, episode 181. It is winners and losers of Week 7 in the NFL. Back again for the 7th consecutive week. I've never had a streak like this.
No. But now you do.
I do now. Oh, it's great. Okay.
It
Well,
better be.
I think this is probably going to be the most heated one out of all of them. I will say that
Oh, God.
because I'm calling people out, including you. I'm calling you out this episode.
I have a guess of what you're gonna call me out for, so it's fine. I'm ready to accept my. What is it? What's that term? I'm ready to eat crow. There you go.
I'm more of a chicken fan, but
I do
it's
like
fine.
chicken as well. Actually, it's pretty good.
Had a Wingstop, as you know.
I had a chicken enchiladas today.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's in El Paso enjoying his last meal before El Paso freezes over.
Oh my God, bro. Honestly, I hope it does freeze over, so I don't have to see any of these idiots walking outside.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Oh.
Back to the winners and losers.
Shout out Fit Fam.
Bro, shout out. Sponsor the podcast.
Sponsor the podcast, Fit Fam.
Oh my god. All right, so you know the deal. Winners get a little bit of the bubbly, as the shirt would say. Losers get Stephen A. Smith, and the honorable mention get some damn respect from LeBron James, from the man himself. But let's start off with the winners. They're really good this week. Sir, could I go first this time? It's okay if I say ladies first.
Oh, Jesus. Yes. Gentlemen first, because unlike you, I have respect for you.
I don't know what that is. And no, I have none for you.
Wow.
I'll just
Cool.
slap you around silly, if you know what I mean.
I'm gonna save this recording, and like 3 years down the line, I'm gonna bring it back up, and you're gonna feel like an asshole.
I'm gonna be reaching famous, so I don't need you.
Wow.
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 First winner
Sure.
for me.
Go for it. What's your first winner?
I said this back
Oh my God.
in April.
Okay.
I did multiple videos on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know it.
Mm-hmm.
My sleeper team in the AFC was the Miami Dolphins. That's going pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's two at a time. A little early, but it's two at a time, and I think it's
I don't
going
think
well.
it should be two at a time, but okay.
But hey, they're still doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They layeth the smackdown on the 49ers.
They
Or-
did layeth the smackdown.
And their defense is looking pretty good. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But my NFC East, or my NFC sleeper team,
See,
The
we
air-
do have the same one.
the
Goddamn.
Arizona Cardinals, baby. What did I tell you? What do we
Hey,
what do we
what-
say?
There you go.
But
I-
I said it a lot more, so technically I should get the credit for it.
you know what? You know what? You're right, because I was talking more about the Broncos.
Right. That was like that's
which
the
is-
stamp on approval.
Yeah, like my stamp of approval was the Broncos, which unfortunately has not worked out
Hey,
because
Hey,
the injury
we'll
bug.
carry that into next year, and when they
know.
make the Super Bowl with Drew Lock, and he's throwing bombs to Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, and Jerry Jeudy, it's gonna be fine.
Tim Patrick, have some respect, please.
Ooh, and Noah Fant.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect. No disrespect to the brother.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I think me and you will have to tag team this one because I also put the Cardinals down.
look, man. I said it. They had one of the best drafts out of any team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And all the way from the first round to the last round, they just hit every little thing they needed. And
Really did. Yeah.
going into the season, I was like, it's going to be explosive with Kyler Murray. Kenyon Drake, Chase Edmonds in the backfield, but they added the best wide receiver in football, which is definitely the case right now. There is no argument for me. No
D-Hop.
argument. D-Hop is the best. And even though he fumbled in this game, I think it's fine. But look, everything about this team is just speaking a contender to be. I don't think they're contender now, but hey, they are making their case to win that division or at least get a wild card, because now they have been the two best teams in their division.
Yeah.
Week 1, San Francisco 49ers. It was a rough shot, but considering the injuries they would have later in the season, they beat them in their best form with their best players. And they made a case that, like, hey, we're not going to go down without a fight. And then on Sunday night, primetime football, after a bad day, a bad night for Kyler Murray against the Cowboys, as much as the high scoring and those big plays happened, that first half for Kyler Murray is probably the worst half of football he's ever played. Bad throws, bad decisions, all around.
It was very unlike him. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he got it going. It's against the Cowboys defense, so it's a field day, right? But to come into this football game against a very willing defense to give up yards, may not give up points, but they give up a lot of yards in Seattle, and then to go against the likely MVP in Russell Wilson, they had a perfect game plan. They absolutely had a great game plan of, we're going to give up the yards, but we're really good in the red zone, and we're not going to give up the points. Now, they did give up points, but I think they did it in a way to where they forced Russell Wilson and the Seahawks to really grind for those points. Even on those big shots down the field, I know Tyler Lockett had a career day, but every single throw and every single catch that ended up in a big play for the Seahawks, it was great coverage. It was great, defending. It was a blitz that gave pressure to the Seahawks to make a play, and it's just a great football team that ended up doing so. But the big plays happened for the Cardinals too. Budda Baker, I think he's the defensive player of the year.
Playing out of his mind, and I think if Jamal Adams were healthy, there would be a debate between him and Budda Baker, because before Jamal went down, he was playing out of his mind. But unfortunately, he got injured, and now Budda Baker has just ascended, and the contract that he got paid recently, 100% worth it.
Yeah. It's kind of like the opposite of what you want. In a contract year, you would want him to play like that, but he plays it after the money's dealt. And it's nice to see. Patrick Peterson's still doing great things as their top corner. Isaiah Simmons finally gets his opportunity to have a spotlight, and he gets the interception, takes it all the way down, and it's a huge, huge turnover for the Arizona Cardinals to put him in position to win. But then you look on the other side. Like, look, I love Christian Kirk, and he's a stud.
Christian Kirk is balling. He is balling.
He had 2 touchdowns in that game. DeAndre Hopkins has been dealing with some injuries, but he inevitably did really well considering all the factors. Even Kenyon Drake goes down in this game, and so it's Chase Edmonds.
What a monster.
He took over. This offensive line is better than we thought. Like Josh Jones out of Houston, he was one of the highly recruited offensive linemen in this draft, and I feel like he's done a phenomenal job ever since he entered the league. But Kyler Murray is just doing great things. It was kind of like seeing the present of Russell Wilson and that dual threat quarterback, and then the future in Kyler Murray. It's a phenomenal game. It was so fun to watch. And look, this is what I wrote down for the Cardinals. Like, they already tied for the amount of wins they had last season. We're not even halfway through the season, and they're already doing better. I'm going to give a lot of credit, not just to Budda Baker, but to Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator. Think of how bad of a taste he left in people's mouths for the job he did in Denver. Really,
he was ostracized out of Denver, 100%.
He just did not fit there at all. And to go back to what fits him best as a defensive coordinator, and to make this team that was awful in defense just a few years ago and even last year, to go from that to one of the best red zone defenses in the league, and to give up tied for the least amount of points in the league this season. And you see it on the field. You see the schemes. You see the disguises. Like, they're bringing 7-8 guys to the front. They're bringing them to the defensive line, to the line of scrimmage, and then they just fake Russell Wilson out. Think of the bad throws that Russell Wilson made. Even though he had a great day with Tyler Lockett, Like, there were some throws where, like, that interception by Buda Baker, it was like, whoa, Russell Wilson is human, you know? Like, he brought him back to earth, and that's just all the Arizona Cardinals defense and their scheme. And then to win it in overtime. I know I'm going on a rant here, but I am so impressed by this football team that they're exceeding my expectations. I thought they were just going to be a sleeper team, maybe get a few wins, maybe get like a Seattle win, a 49ers win here and there, but through 7 weeks of football, they are they are the most entertaining team to watch in football.
And I think it also speaks volume to the fact how they were able to, bounce back and persevere, because those two games that they lost were very, very odd. They should have not lost those games. They were against opponents that really at the time should have not been anywhere near their level. So the fact that they were able to bounce back after those two losses and just win two more in a row, it's and like you said, against a Seattle team where, in my opinion, they look good enough to be in the championship, Seattle. So I agree with you. They're a contender to be. They look really great. The defense looks revamped. The only thing that not that it's, I guess it's a nitpick. The whole thing about Kenyon Drake, it's very odd to me, because Kenyon Drake is a very talented football player, and I don't understand why he isn't performing at the level that we all know he can. Which am I wrong?
He's the third. He's the third highest rushing running back in the league right now as far as yards go. He's top 3. I think he's third.
You do realize that a 70-yard run against the Cowboys in garbage time doesn't really count.
Hey, I'm just talking stats, baby. You're talking about the whole season. Well, that 70-yard rush isn't the whole season.
I understand that, but he could be better than he is.
He doesn't need to be.
I'm still saying, point whatever. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Cardinals, they're exciting. Do I think they have a chance to go to the playoffs and upset a team? Yeah, I do. I think they could go deep. Now, depending on who they play first round, I don't know. I think right now they would be considered the 5th, 6th.
Yeah, 5th or 6th seed.
Yeah, 5th or 6th seed.
Considering the record.
Then they would face either 3 or 4. Yeah,
I mean, you're going against either an NFC East team or an NFC South team.
It would, yeah. Well,
or if the Bears just continue to be good enough and then they go into the playoffs, I'm taking the Cardinals in that game.
I don't know. All I know is that, yes, I completely agree. The Cardinals are 100% a contender to be. Kenyon Drake, get back better, because I know you can be better.
Now, was that one of your winners as well?
Yeah, so
okay,
I guess I'll go to my second one now.
Well, sir. Excuse me. You forgot the most important part.
How rude of me, yes.
The Arizona Cardinals get...
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
One last thing. Isn't it crazy that the NFC West can all be in the playoffs?
I hope it happens.
I'd love to see that.
I would love that. I really hope so.
Because we get at least one matchup of them together again in the playoffs after watching them play twice in the regular season. But if we can avoid as least amount of teams in the NFC least, then I'm all for it. But to see a 49ers team that could probably get in with a 9-7 record or 10-6 and be a wild card alongside the other 3, I'm all for it, baby.
Oh, I'm all for it too. 100%. Alrighty. Well, my first winner, or I guess second winner, because the Cardinals are my first. This is a tale of redemption, and not particularly a big redemption story, because we all know this is going to happen. But I know for an absolute fact, it felt so good for Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams to go out there against the Texans and just light them up. It wasn't even close. The Texans were clearly outmatched. Oh my God. After that, in my opinion, embarrassing loss to the Bucs last week. I bet you Aaron Rodgers feels so good, so damn good to throw 4 TDs.
The little flex.
Dude,
What's happening?
what was his name? McCringleberry. I forgot the name.
Barry
I don't know. What is it?
No, Hingle Mc
Hingle McCringleberry? Is
yeah, something like that.
it? I
Are
love
you
that
trying to
so
do the
much.
pumps?
I did do the pumps, but this is
You're supposed to do over the head. You're a rookie at this. Come on now, show some
Dude.
form.
dude. It's been like what 7 years since that skit came out. Relax. Leave me
Excuse me,
alone.
sir. You will not disrespect Key and Peele like that.
I'm not disrespecting them. I'm just saying it's been a long time since I've seen that skit. Cut me some slack. You know who didn't cut the Texans some slack? Some Aaron Rodgers action. Dude. And also, Devontae Adams had another career day, as he tends to have at least once or twice a year. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, the whole Packers team, you deserve a little bit of the bubbly.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Not to mention, they did this without their best running back. Aaron Jones out for this game.
I know.
Jamal
I know.
Williams takes over, and he had himself a pretty nice day.
He did have a pretty good day.
I think that shows how deep they are. Now,
Yeah.
the only thing I really feel like they're missing is another wide receiver. And I'm not going to discredit Devontae Adams, but if he's not there, that's the worry, right? Because he does get injured a lot. I do like Alan Lazard. I think he's their definite number 2, but he's always kind of back and forth with Aaron Rodgers as far as having a big day and then being nowhere to be found. And then Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, that's always a weird one. I think he's good, not great. So, I mean, I'd test the waters in free agency and to see what you can do before the trade deadline. Or, I mean, you look at some of these teams. Like I was talking to Eddie about this because we were talking about the Patriots. And I told him, I was like, look, there's a ceiling to this offense. And without new receivers or some receivers, which he agreed with, and he told me some options. But he mentioned John Ross from Cincinnati.
Oh, he is looking to get traded. Yes.
And I'm like, Dad, if you're just looking for a speedster, just to send him out and just find the end zone. I mean, any of these teams, like Patriots, I mean, now that you think about it, Green Bay can really take advantage of a guy that's just a speedster.
Well, look what Oakland is using Henry Ruggs for, and it's
Oh, yeah.
working.
Oh, yeah.
It's working. So I'm pretty sure it could work for the Packers. Also, might I add that they did have a chance in this draft, but Jordan Love.
Well,
Very suspicious.
can he play wide receiver?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know what they taught him in Nevada.
Very
Was it Nevada?
controversial.
Or no, it was Utah State. My bad.
Yeah,
My
Utah State.
bad. The same
Very
conference.
very controversial decision making by the Packers front office.
I mean, now that you think about it, you know how we mentioned how much I love the rookie wide receivers and how great that class was? Mm-hmm. You got to think that the Packers are really, kind of, what's the term? What's the term?
Regretful?
Like punching themselves or...
like punch in the air.
Yeah, it's like you got to think to yourself, like you missed out on a lot of opportunities there.
Let's be logical about this. Technically, the Packers could have, if they wanted to, gone up like what, 5 spots? 6 spots, maybe? Trade with Minnesota and get Justin Jefferson if they wanted to.
Yeah.
If they wanted to. But instead, they picked Jordan Love. Now, I'm not trying to disrespect Jordan Love because I have no idea about his playing ability. I never really saw him in college. But I'm sending the disrespect towards the Packers front office because what are you doing?
I think they missed out on like Brandon Ayuk and T. Higgins.
They missed
as
out
well.
on Brandon Ayuk, T. Higgins. They missed out on Justin Jefferson if they wanted to for the trade. And also, technically, they could have also picked up, who was that other one that I think, wasn't Denzel Mims or something like that?
Denzel Mims, yeah, the Jets picked him.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's better than the other receivers that were picked, but he could have.
I mean, as a number 2 or number 3,
Yeah, he's talented.
yeah, he's talented enough to be. And you got Aaron Rodgers, so he would have made it work, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know.
I right now, I see the Packers as the number one team. I think if you have all of them healthy, if you have Aaron Jones there, you have Aaron Rodgers, and they get on a hot streak in their passing game, their defense is built to be in shootouts, and they contain, they bend, don't break. I think
it's a shootout defense, yeah.
I think if it comes down to it, I think they have the best chance to make it to the Super Bowl.
I think as of right now, you can make a case at the NFC Championship, if it were to be this Sunday, it would be Seattle and Green Bay.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Who do you think?
The Bucks and the Packers. If we're getting the Bucks from the last 2 weeks, they have the best chance at being the Packers, in my opinion. But I have them as, like, if it was right now, if I'm taking the two best teams of the NFC, I'm taking the Bucks and I'm taking the Packers.
I still have my doubts about the Bucks, just because of the inconsistency.
I mean,
They come out these last 2 weeks and they ball. I agree with you. However, they lose to a Bears team that just got destroyed by the Rams last night. So it's kind of like,
remember what I said. Remember what I said. Every team needs a reality check, and I think that was the Bucks reality check, and I think the Packers had the reality check with the Bucks. So it's all tied together.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Conspiracy theory. I will get to that later on.
Big brain.
I'm not done with that conversation, by the way. So keep that in mind.
Okay, go for it, sir.
Second winner, a team that even played this week. They were on a bye, but they made the most moves out of anybody, really. And they've been doing it for the last couple months. I feel like they had one of the best trades that no one talked about. And now they did it again this past week. My second winner
I know who you're going to say.
is the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Look, they didn't even need to play to be on my list this week. And we go back a few months ago when the DeAndre Hopkins trade takes over the whole world of how bad it was. And right now, it's bad how bad that trade was. And then you had the Stephon Diggs trade, and you're like, okay, that one made more sense, right? But in my mind, I'm thinking this entire time, I'm like, no one's talking about the Calais Campbell trade. Calais Campbell wants to get out of Jacksonville. So does another player, Yannick Ngakoue. Well, okay. I mean, you can't get both of them, right? But you get Calais Campbell. And you only get him for what, a 5th-round pick? You got him for a 5th. You got him for a 12-pack of Diet Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper. Wow. Okay.
You don't even get Dr. Pepper 23. You get Diet Dr. Pepper?
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. And no one talked about it. No one talked about it. You're talking about one of the elite inside defensive linemen in football.
He's an extremely good football player.
He's a grown man.
He isn't he like 6'6", 275 or something like that?
Yeah. Have you seen the video? I forget who it was. It was a player from the Philadelphia Eagles when they were playing a week ago. I want to say it was Maddox or...
Monte Maddox?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was one of their secondary guys. And he went up to Calais Campbell and he's like, oh, you're a lot bigger than I thought. He looked up to him and he's like, I thought you were 6'6".
The man is huge. He is insane.
He's a grown bear, for God's sakes. Like
I would not like to be in front of him if he were running full speed at me.
No, and you get him for a 5th rounder. That's stupid, right? So no one talked about that. And I felt like it was a great addition for the already good Baltimore Ravens. Well, guess what? A few months later, here we are. And Yannick wants to leave.
Minnesota.
And you know what? Minnesota gets a little bit out of it.
They do.
They get a 5th round and a 3rd round.
I think this trade was more realistic.
It makes more sense for the Minnesota Vikings, right? But then you look on the other side and you're like, well, the team that went to the AFC Championship in Jacksonville consisted of these two guys. And I wonder why. Oh, that's because that defense was the elite defense in the NFL, and they won games because of their defense.
Yeah.
And it's because of these two guys. Yannick Ngakoue, I don't know the full number yet. And I don't know where he stands on the rankings, but he has to be top 5 in sacks right now. Yannick Ngakoue.
Since what, 2016?
Just the season.
Oh, okay.
I think even in just the season, I think he's top 5 in sacks right now. I'll check on that in a second. But now you have them together again in a new environment, and now you got Calais Campbell, you got Yannick Ngakoue, you got Patrick Queen, who is
The steal of the draft.
oh my God, he's so good,
He's
so
extremely good.
and
He's
he
very
fits that system so well, and he is one of the rookies of the year, hands down.
Oh yeah.
So that defense only gets better. And then you go to the offense, and you're like, okay, they have the running game. Of course it's the running game, right? It's Lamar Jackson, it's Mark Ingram. They have J.K. Dobbins, who was a steal in the draft. And then you look at the receivers, okay, well, they could use a little help in the wide receiver. Oh, well, might as well go get someone to help out.
Hey Lutz, who did they get?
How about you throw up the X for me one time? Because Des Bryant's back.
I love it, dude. I love it. I got so happy when I saw that.
And this is phenomenal for the Baltimore Ravens because you get a hungry Des Bryant who's ready to come back in the league and hasn't played since Dallas. He never got to play with New Orleans because he tore his Achilles in practice. So he's been out of league for two and a half years. He signs to the practice squad. He's eventually going to be in the roster, the starting roster. But think about it like this. If this doesn't work, who cares? He's the third receiver.
Yeah.
If it works, well, you just got yourself a great wide receiver for absolutely nothing, and you can build more passing game with Lamar Jackson. He now has more weapons. And the Baltimore Ravens that have been good this year, but never really shown us that same caliber team that we saw last year of explosiveness, of dominance. With these additions, they finally say, all right, it's time to get better. They've been complacent this season, and that bad loss to the Chiefs has really given them a reality check. I keep going back to that, but it continues to happen. And with these signings, with these trades that they're making, these signings that they've made, Baltimore's back, and they're in the running.
Yeah, I would say complacent has been the right word, just because I think it was last week when I mentioned that I saw a stat where Lamar Jackson this season only has 159 yards passing per game. Now, I understand that the Ravens are a run-first offense, but 159 yards ain't going to help you there. It's not. It's not. So I agree that, Marquise Hollywood Brown hasn't been at the top of his game lately. Willie Snead is, he's Willie Snead. He's always been just a slot receiver. So the need for wide receiver help was very apparent in Baltimore. And like you said, this is just an experiment that, well, I mean, who the hell cares if it wins or if it's a good deal or not? I mean, it didn't cost them anything.
Right.
So, yeah, I agree. Baltimore does deserve a little bit of the...
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
By the way, I double-checked my stats. Ngakoue is 8th on the sack leader list with 5, which is not bad.
Not bad.
But still top 10, and you got him for a good deal. And now you got two of them together.
That is a pretty good deal. Well, sir, I'm going to go back to a previous statement I made earlier when we were talking about the Bucks. This team was getting scrutinized because...
Where are you going with this?
This team was getting scrutinized because they played 4 teams from the NFC least. And they won, all of them. So people were like, well, is this really a good team? The NFC, it's the NFC least. Is this really a good team? Are they really? But then they came out last night and they manhandled the Bears. They manhandled the Bears. Now, you can make an argument that the Bears do not have a very potent offense, and I agree. However, the Bears defense up to this week was something fierce and something serious. So the way they handled the Bears defense, the way they handled their business, got the dub in a very convincing manner, in my opinion. I'm not putting them on a pedestal, but this is a win for them as a team. This should at least put them in an area where people can be like, oh, okay, so they do got some fight in them. They're not just beating these easy teams from the NFC least. So, in my opinion, like I said, I'm not putting them on a pedestal. I'm not. But as a team, to shut up the haters, the Rams played good, and they deserve credit. They deserve.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
You have to remember that I said I'm not putting them on a pedestal. I'm just saying that in general, they are winners. In my opinion, they are a winner of the week because they deserve some credit. They deserve some credit for what they did last night.
I'm very hesitant about the Rams.
So
Very
am I.
hesitant.
But so am I. But at least for this week, they deserve the credit because they played really well yesterday against a team that was considered not highly valued as a contender, but they were still winning games. And that's all that matters in the league, apparently. So the fact that they came out, they handled business. They handled their business against a fierce Chicago D. It makes me feel, if I were Sean McVay, I'd be like, all right, we came out, we did our business against a team that has high value with people. We made our point. Now we can move on to next week against the Dolphins. Hint, hint towards you. And they can show, hey, if they can beat the Dolphins, I mean, Dolphins have a pretty good defense. You just said it yourself.
See, my problem with the Rams is watching
What
that
is your
game
problem
last
with the
night
Rams?
is I felt like I wanted more. I wanted more. I didn't feel like it was a dominant victory. It may have shown on the scoreboard, but I didn't feel like they were dominant in every aspect of the game.
But it was a convincing win. It wasn't dominant, I agree with you, but it was convincing. They proved their point.
I don't know. I was watching that game and I was like, Jared Goff, like, I don't know. Just kind of, I felt like it was a roller coaster for Jared Goff last night.
Hasn't that been his whole career?
Well, that's not good, though. It's not what you want. Because
mean-
your whole reason for getting rid of Todd Gurley is because you had so much trust in Jared Goff that he was going to be the leader of this offense. And he has plenty of weapons to work with. I mean, their weapons are looking real nice. Instead of throwing to, like, all these other guys, can we throw to Robert Woods a little bit? I just need 5 more points, buddy. I think there's just, like, an underlying, like issue with that because, like, I lost because of Robert Woods. So I'm a little pissed at the Rams right now. But, you know what, I want to take it away. I take emotion out of this, and I act like a professional, as I always do on this podcast. We'll just move on from that one. But I want to see more out of the Rams. Like, I didn't feel like any of those games against the NFC East were dominant. They were convincing. They weren't dominant. And then against the Bears, I was like, okay, that's convincing. But if I'm putting you against your division, and one of those games was against the 49ers, and you looked stale, and you looked real bad, when it comes down to that competition where it's like the Packers, where it's the Saints, the Bucks, and even in your own division, do I have the most confidence in the Rams? No. I have the Seahawks at the top. I think right now, after watching what happened on Sunday night, I think the Cardinals are second. Then it's the 49ers. Then it's the Rams. I really think that's how it's going to be.
So you're making all valid good points, and I agree with them. I do. But I'm just saying that at least for this week, they deserve the credit. They do.
Look, man, you're taking the cop out. You're taking the easy route here.
I'm not taking an easy route. I'm taking a statistical and completely true statement that they deserve credit for this week. Because they do. Sorry if you don't like it.
You know what? Now you got me a little mad.
Oh, when are you not mad going into losers?
Oh, I'm not done. Yeah, one more winner.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We both shared our first winner.
You know what? I'm calling you out.
Oh my god.
Because I remember
All right.
a little birdie told me
Uh-huh.
when we were thinking about doing the rankings for the quarterbacks that you didn't have a particular quarterback in the top 10. You think he fell off a cliff.
You do remember that I did say it was a brain fart.
No. This was no brain fart.
Yes, it was.
No, it
I
was
literally
not.
told you.
No,
I
it was
told
not.
you.
You said that you don't believe in him.
Uh-huh.
And you didn't have him in the top 10.
Uh-huh. Okay, keep going to make your point.
So now I'm bringing that back
Uh-huh.
because I said he was top 5, top 6. And
Uh-huh.
you were disgusted by that. So
To a certain extent, I'm not disgusted, but keep going.
see, now you're just, I don't like where you're going with this.
Why?
Cuz I know where you stood. I know where you are with that man. And you didn't believe in him.
No, I didn't.
Well, now you're gonna, because my third winner of the week is Thomas Brady.
Don't call him Thomas Brady.
I'm gonna call him Thomas because you disrespected him.
Oh my god.
He is still going. You don't think he's a top 5 quarterback now?
Right now?
Top 6?
Right now? Okay, who would it be? It'd be, in my opinion, Russell is still first.
Russ?
Russell's still first. Second,
Patrick Mahomes?
Rodgers. Third is Mahomes, obviously.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, who else? Fourth, I had not a list, but there was a tweet that I saw that came out.
Let's look at it. Right here.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me see real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So we had Russ, we had Raji's, we had Patrick Mahomes in there. As of right now, throughout the season, I think you could put Ryan Tannehill up there because he's been playing lights out.
You would put Ryan Tannehill over Tom Brady.
He's been more consistent than Tom Brady, yes. What do you mean?
You disrespected him again?
How was that disrespect? If you look at the stats,
You
he's
have
been more
one
consistent
game.
than Brady.
You have one game this weekend. And you need to pick one quarterback between Ryan Tannehill and Tom Brady. Who are you picking?
Based off of this week,
No, based off of the season.
Ryan Tannehill. He's been more consistent.
God.
What do you mean? What do you mean? He's been more consistent. I don't understand how you seem to forget the horrific performance he had against Chicago.
And then I said there has to be a reality check.
Doing your reality check. That's your
Yeah, because it's a
best
real
excuse.
thing. It's a real thing. But if I'm taking the one quarterback right now, Ryan Tannehill or Tom Brady, I'm taking Tom Brady every day.
Okay. I'm not saying it's a bad choice. I'm just saying that Ryan Tannehill's been more consistent.
No.
Go look
I got
at
the
the
stats.
stats.
I have the stats right here. Okay.
Prove me wrong, then.
Completion percentage. Tom Brady 65.7. Ryan Tannehill 68.5. Okay. Good for you. Tom Brady has more yards.
Okay, fair enough.
Tom Brady has 18 touchdowns compared to 15. Tom Brady has 2 more interceptions.
Okay.
Tom Brady. Where is it? Ryan Tannehill's QBR rating is better. His passer rating's better.
Mm-hmm.
Am I reading this wrong? No. But it's
You're
the
acting-
system.
You're acting as if I'm saying that he's completely trash. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that as of right now,
This is
based
still
off
disrespectful.
based off of consistency, I would pick Ryan Tannehill. Am I saying Tom Brady's trash? No, Tom Brady has been balling. I agree with you, but I would pick Ryan Tannehill as of right now.
So disrespectful.
Okay.
So disrespectful. Tom Brady, 33 of 45, 369 yards, 4 touchdowns and interceptions. He has 18 touchdowns on 4 interceptions.
He's balling. He's
He's throwing dimes, bro.
He is throwing dimes.
Throwing dimes at 43 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? You get a number 1 new receiver in Tampa Bay.
I don't like that.
Oh, it's not that one. It's my boy Scotty Miller.
Oh, Scotty Miller.
Scotty
I do like
Miller,
Scotty
baby.
Miller.
You know
I do like Scotty
why?
Miller.
You know why it makes sense that Scotty Miller is having a career performance in Tampa Bay right now?
Because Mike Evans has been overshadowed and Chris Godwin can't stay healthy.
A little bit of that, but think about it. Who has Tom Brady loved to throw to his entire career?
Wes Welker, which is always a slot receiver.
Wes Welker, Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman. He made Chris Hogan look like a stud. You know, he had the years with Randy Moss. Oh, that's nice. But other than that, it's been the smaller guys. So he's not going to... Like, I picked up Mike Evans, but I was like, no, I'm going to trade him away because I feel like that's just not the way it's going in Tampa. And then you look at what they're doing with Scotty Miller, who had 9 targets, 6 receptions, 109 yards, 1 touchdown on Sunday.
Gronk's woken up.
Gronk woke up too. I mean, it's basically what he's done in New England. Just now, it's a little bit sunnier in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
But, look, man, Tom Brady is never going away.
I give him like 3 more years.
That's what people said 3 years ago. That's what
But I
people said 5 years ago.
But I disagreed with them.
Why?
You're putting me on this pedestal as like a Tom Brady hater when I'm
Because
not.
you hated him.
I don't.
You didn't have him in your top 10.
I don't hate him.
You
You're
didn't have him in your top
acting
10.
as
You didn't have him in your top 10. Yes or no?
At the beginning of the season, no. Yeah.
How disrespectful. Tom Brady. Thomas Brady.
Sorry.
You deserve.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Sir, your honorable mention. Disrespectful ass.
Oh, you're funny, man.
Hey,
So,
thanks, man.
You're welcome, man. So, my honorable mention goes out to a young man that I want to formally apologize to because, you know, these past couple weeks I've been leading up to it. So I'll do it real quick. Hey, Justin. How are you?
You up?
I made some somewhat disrespectful comments about you before the season started. And I want to apologize and say that I was wrong. You have been absolutely balling out, which I did not expect, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm sorry, man. You're doing great. Love you. Keep it up.
And I want my
Herbert
damn
has been
respect
amazing,
too.
man. Honestly, I cannot decide whether it's Joey B or Justin Herbert for best rookie quarterback because they're both playing out of their minds. It just so happens that, you know, your prediction is coming true that just the Bengals are just garbage, so bad.
I mean, they're bad, but Burrow's that good.
Yeah, he's keeping them in game single-handedly.
Yeah.
So yeah, Justin Herbert, I'm out of a mention. Get your respect, buddy.
And I want my damn respect too.
Amen. Mine's a quarterback as well. I'll keep this short because I feel like he's got a lot of scrutiny this season, and he's doing what he needs to do to put him in the right position to win every single time.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Say the guess. Who do you think?
Carson Wentz.
You say Carson Wentz?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You watch Philly? You watch the Eagles games?
Yeah, I do, but I mean, I thought you were going to say because of the comeback win.
Oh, no.
on
Oh,
Thursday.
God, no. It's against the Giants. Who cares? It's like the Cowboys, like, comeback victory against the Falcons. It's like, okay. You know?
Who's it then?
It's my boy Drew Brees.
Oh.
Man's on
That's
a
a good
walker
one.
alongside Tom Brady. I'm giving the old guys some love
Jesus
this week.
Christ.
Giving the old guys some love. Look, he found 8 different receivers, none of them being Michael Thomas, because who knows what's happening there. But
He might get traded, apparently. What the heck's going on?
I don't know. He's throwing punches left and right. But,
Someone called him Slant Man.
I mean, you don't need him when you're throwing to guys named Marquez Callaway, and you're making...
Yo, he did good.
He did really good. He was their leading receiver on Sunday. And he's making Tre'Quan Smith look really good. He's still got some good weapons in Jared Cook.
I feel like Tre'Quan Smith has been disrespected. I think he's always been good. It's just he's been under Michael Thomas.
Yeah, but I don't think
you know?
he's going to be in the right position to ever be the number one guy.
I agree. I feel like if Tre'Quan Smith were somewhere else, he'd be excelling way more.
I guess you can say that, but I feel like he's in a good spot in New Orleans.
If anything, he's learning from a really good receiver in Michael Thomas.
Of course, yeah.
I've always made the argument that Michael Thomas is being nerfed in New Orleans. Always. I've always said that. And I will stand by it to this day.
I mean, if you're punching teammates, I don't know how far you can get.
Well, based off previous years, Michael Thomas is an elite receiver. He is extremely talented, and you have him running slants like 50% of the game.
Well,
Really?
I mean, if you're DK Metcalf and you're balling out, will you really complain? If you're leading the league in receiving yards like Michael Thomas does, you're really gonna complain? Because it's all about the yak. It's all about the yak. It's
About the
yards
yak.
after catch.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a personal opinion. But
And I get that. But yeah, Drew Brees, he had that rough Monday night showing. And ever since then, I feel like he's just done what he's always done. And he went back to the basics. He went back to what works for him, and that's Alvin Kamara. And they're winning games.
that man is so good.
He's so good.
He's so good.
They're atop the NFC South. They're battling with the Bucks. It's always going to be fun down there. And we'll see it again later on this year in that rematch. But for now, Drew Brees, honorable mention. Don't ever disrespect this man. The old people stand above Kevin and his disrespect.
And I want my damn respect too.
Damn right. Damn right.
You are something else.
I know.
Okay.
I am. Still love him.
Okay. I do love you, yes. So it is time for some disrespect.
Mm.
I'm going to disrespect.
Oh.
When you think of the year 2020, what football team does it describe?
The New York Jets.
It's a good choice. It's a good choice. But at least they've been showing some resolve lately.
Oh no.
Not a lot, but some resolve. There's another team, that they lost by scoring a touchdown.
I watched that play. And I'm just...
Listen, Todd Gurley, I love you
Oh,
with all my
no.
heart. I think you're a great running back. I think you're doing good things in Atlanta.
He's
And
doing
I know
so good in Atlanta, man.
And I know you're pissed off about what happened. I know you're pissed off. But oh my God, this team just finds ways to lose. It's like it's like a movie with the Falcons every single game. The beginning where you're setting up a story, things are going. You go to the second quarter, things are starting to look up. You're scoring. Julio, Russell, Gage, Calvin Ridley, they're all balling, right? And the third quarter, the explosion, the happiness, and then the turmoil, the climax in the fourth quarter. They start choking. They don't know what's going on. Their defense has just disappeared. And it always seems in the fourth quarter that's where the movie stops. There's never a happy ending for them, ever. The fourth quarter the movie stops in the fourth quarter. It just gets stuck at the climax, the bad part. And they just can't get out of it. So, let me get this straight. You blow a 26-point lead. Was it 26 or 24? Whatever it was. To Dallas. Yeah.
I think it was 22, right?
22. Okay, so you blow a 22-point lead against the Cowboys because you didn't know the rules of an onside kick. Okay, fair enough. Next week, you blow a 16-point lead to the Bears
Oof.
because your defense decided to just take a nap.
Who benched their quarterback in the game?
Who benched their quarterback? Yeah. Oh, man. And then this week, poor Todd Gurley. I feel bad for him. I really do.
He's got 7 touchdowns this year.
But this week, you lose because you scored a touchdown. I don't even know if this is a roast anymore. I feel like this is like empathy. Like, Stephen A., just take it away.
You know what's funny? Is that I saw that play on Instagram, and there was people that were criticizing or like making fun of the Lions for celebrating that they scored the touchdown. I'm like, if you knew football,
You would understand why.
you would understand why it was a good thing for him to score.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm watching that, I'm like, oh, that's a great that's a great thing for the Lions. Like, they actually get the ball back with a minute left, no timeouts. Oh, awesome. And then I know earlier in the day they said, oh, Todd Gurley accidentally scored a touchdown. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? And then I look at a play, I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no.
The city of Atlanta is just in shambles right now when it comes to their sports teams. They just can't catch a break. They can't. Ay, ay, ay. Sir,
I don't know.
your first loser.
I don't even know what to respond to that. Look, it's back. I gave it a shot,
Okay.
and good old man himself came back, and
Oh no. Okay, I guess we're sharing this one too.
I live rent free in his head, baby,
Yeah.
because Cameron Newton, oh boy, rent free, baby. What did I tell you when things were going really good for the Patriots? And I'll say it myself. I was like, you know what? He's doing all right. He's changing.
We did.
You know, he's more aware in the pocket. He's making the right decisions. He's not just chucking the ball with all of his force. He's making the right decisions, making the right throws. But that style of play and the play calling in New England is working out for him. But just wait till it goes south. Just wait for him to have a little bit of adversity to go through. And let's see what Cam can do. If he can bounce back from bad days and come back to his true form, like he did at the beginning of the season, then I'll say, okay, Cam Newton's different now. Last week, oh, well, he had COVID, so he only had one practice. You kind of throw away that game. I will throw away that game. I will give him the benefit of the doubt. And this week, against a 49ers team that no one really knows what they are. No one knows what 49ers team is going to show up. They can be a great football team that went to the Super Bowl, or they can be a team that gives up 40 points to the Dolphins. Like, it's just pick your poison. And for Cam Newton to go 98 yards passing and 3 interceptions, granted, those interceptions were part of Julian Edelman not knowing how to catch a football, but to have a QBR rating of 3.5 and to get benched,
Oh no.
it's, yeah. I mean, look, I'll say this. This is the old Cam Newton. This is the Cam Newton I knew was there all along. If he can bounce back and go into next week, have a good, solid performance, no mistakes, good throws, good decision-making, I'll say, okay, then we're making progress, right? But if this just leads to another bad performance and him getting benched again, and then being like, well, this was a disaster, maybe we should look at some other quarterbacks. Well, guess what, baby? The Cam Newton conspiracy theory from Bubba Lutz himself is completely correct. Rent free. Cam Newton. Stephen A. You can't have Jacoby Myers be your leading receiver. Come on now. Come on now. Can't be it. It can't be him.
Cam, buddy. Cam. What's going on, man? I defended you multiple times. Because there's something in you. Something in you, but you somehow suppress it. And I don't know why. Come on, Cam. Come on. Come on. Well, sir, since you stole my second one,
What did I say?
I guess I'll go to my third one. And see, this one hurts me. This one hurts me a lot.
Oof.
This one really hurts me because you know what? I was even telling my boys that I really, really want him to win. Yo. Joey B. It's okay, man. It's okay. Just know that I love you, Joey, okay? Know that Bengals Nation loves you.
It's not you.
Dude, what
That's the team.
what else could he do? Seriously, what else could he do? He literally has put the Bengals in a position to win like about maybe 3 or 4 times this season already. And they just fail him every single time. Dude, I think the Bengals could easily be what, like, it's week 7. So they could easily be maybe 4-3 right now.
I
They
mean,
could be
even,
4-3.
yeah, even if they're at that 500 mark, I think that's a win for them.
Yeah, they could be 4-3 right now. They should have won against the Chargers week 1. Randy Bullock decided to miss a field goal. They should have won week 2 against the Eagles. Their defense just gave up points to Carson Wentz at the last second. I think week 3 is when they got destroyed. No, I'm sorry. Week 3 was when they played the first time they played Cleveland, right?
Oh, so week 2 was Cleveland.
Okay, so week 2 he played out of his mind. He played out of his mind
Yeah,
week
that was
2.
the Thursday night game.
He played out of his mind week 2, and that Bengals defense is just so bad. Week 3, they tied against the Eagles. They could have won that game. They could have won that game. What was the next game?
They got the win against the Jaguars,
Okay, yeah, they got the win. I remember that game. That was a good win for them.
and then it was the Sunday massacre against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, they were not going to win that game.
Lost close to the Colts.
Oh, again, the defense blew that game for them, dude. He played so well in the first half. He still played good in the second half. And they blew it. And now, this past Sunday, he gets the go-ahead touchdown with a minute left in the fourth quarter. A minute. Lutz, do you know how long a minute is?
It's about I think it's 60 seconds.
Oh, so the Bengals just had to stop Baker Mayfield for 60 seconds. That's all they had to do. Dude, I don't know. What else could he do? He can't do anything. I think, if I remember correctly, I might be wrong because they announced it during the game. I think right now he is tied for the rookie record for most 300-yard passing games in a rookie season. Are you serious? And he's still losing? He's 1-5-1?
Oof. Stephen A.
That man should easily be 4-3. Stephen A, please.
You know, I made the argument that Joe Burrow
man.
could be the biggest bust in NFL history,
And it's not even his fault.
and none of it's his fault, and he's still balling out. Like, I didn't think a man could do that much for a football team and not win. But damn, how? I mean, they didn't even have Joe Mixon.
He's outplaying so many quarterbacks right now that are winning. They're winning, and he's outplaying them.
He's got to be a Pro Bowler, right? Like, he's got to make the Pro Bowl.
Oh, by far he has to. How could he not? How could he not?
I wonder if that's ever happened. I mean, is this like a case of like Matthew Stafford? Like when,
You could say that, yeah.
I mean, they were a bad football team, but he just throws up the numbers.
I mean, look, dude. And I'll take a bullet for this one. Josh Allen is not playing as good as he was 3 weeks ago. Yet he's still winning games. But Joey B isn't. Joey B is outplaying Josh Allen right now.
So,
Joey B is outplaying Baker Mayfield. Okay, Baker Mayfield had 5 TDs. The week before he got benched.
oh no, I don't think this is a good thing to celebrate if you're the Browns. Like, it shouldn't be that close against the Bengals. Twice.
Dude, Joey B, to a certain extent, statistically, is somewhat outplaying Kyler Murray some of these games. Some of the games, he's
Oh, no, yeah.
outplaying Kyler Murray, dude. I mean, dude, Joey B is up there with Aaron Rodgers statistically right now.
He's just doing the same things he did in college.
He's lighting it up. but the Bengals are so trash.
Yeah, they're bad. They're really bad.
Ugh, ugh.
Ah, man.
Joe Burrow, I'm sorry you had to be picked by the Bengals. I'm sorry. Wow.
I've never seen a better quarterback go 1-5-1.
Trevor Lawrence, pay attention. Pay attention.
Oh, Jesus Christ, don't start.
Trevor Lawrence, pay attention.
Loser number 2. I've been really thinking about this for the entire season of winners and losers. And you know, he had a stretch of games to where he just blew apart secondaries. But I feel like this is the same story that we got in New York. It's the same story we're going to get in Cleveland. At the end of the day, there's going to be a tainted perception of this guy. And after a season-ending injury with a torn ACL,
Oh.
Odell Beckham Jr. is a loser for me.
No, Odell.
Now,
Oh.
not just a loser because he tore his ACL.
I have something to say about Odell when you're done,
Yeah.
by the way.
You start off the season with a lot of controversy outside of football. You know,
Oh, please don't bring that up. Please don't bring that up.
I'll just leave it at that.
Please don't bring it up.
Allegedly, okay?
Okay, remember what we talked about? We saw the picture of the woman that started the rumor.
Yeah. I don't want to believe it.
Kristen Dorr?
I don't want to think about it because it makes me nauseous.
Should we trust someone who wears Kristen Dorr?
I don't know what that means, but I'll just go with
You,
it.
you didn't see the picture? Okay, really quick, just for reference, the picture, she was wearing something, Christian Dior, the brand. It said Kristen Dorr.
Oh, so it was like a
It's a knockoff. It was fake.
Fugazi. It was a Fugazi.
Yeah, yes.
I can't trust the Fugazis.
That's the joke.
Okay, thank you.
She was wearing a goosey.
Fugazi. It's not what's a goosey?
Gucci, but rip off.
A gucky. It's a gucky.
Gucky. Yeah.
So I'll just leave it at that. His body language when he's not getting the ball and when they're losing is hard to watch. And
Yes.
it's been a problem ever since New York. When he is playing well, he's playing well and makes up for it. But when he's not, he can dish it out, but he can't take it. No matter if it's from players, from fans. Like when they lose, you always see Odell fighting with someone. Not physically, but just verbally. And it's just... I'm not hating on Odell. Like, every person's different, right? And wide receivers are divas. Even though, like, I don't feel like that's a very common thing now.
Man, we personally, you and I, dealt with the diva for many years in Dallas.
And that's where I'm getting to. Is that the way that ended. And I love the fact that Dez Bryant's finally getting his chance to have his comeback story in Baltimore. Do I think he's going to be the elite of the elites at that position anymore? No. And I don't feel like it was the right thing. Or no, I felt like it was the right thing for him to go away from Dallas. I think it was a mutually agreed that, look, we just can't deal with you anymore. It's just not a right place at the right time, not a good situation anymore. And I always make the case for Dez is that if the play on the field made up for the chaos and the drama, the divaness that you brought outside of it, I'm fine with that. But I feel like there's more often times than not that Odell doesn't make up for the trash talk, doesn't make up for the divaness of his character.
Yeah.
And I don't wish any injury on anybody because that is an inhumane thing to do. But when I'm looking at the situation that's in Cleveland, and I'm looking at it if I'm another team, I'm looking at a Dez Bryant situation with Odell Beckham Jr. That at the beginning, oh my God, this guy is one of the best receivers in the league. He is going to be a Hall of Famer. The dude's athletic. He can catch with one hand. Look at all the spectacular, like, oh wow, look at this flashiness. And then when the bad stuff starts to happen, you're like, oh, this is bad. This is dirty. This is not fun to watch. It's getting ugly. Well, then you have the off-the-field issues that never seem to go away. You always get the diva of Odell. And now the injuries are starting to stack up like it did for Dez. Remember when his foot got really bad? Remember when his legs got really bad? It felt like you just saw a man deteriorate into the shell of a wide receiver he once was. Do I want to see Odell come back and have just ball out? Of course, yes. I would love to see a guy like that has that much talent and that much athleticism come back and prove everyone wrong, even me. I would love to see Odell play well. But what I'm seeing is a Dez Bryant 2.0. I'm seeing a guy that once those injuries stack up and when that one injury happens, that takes him out for a long time, I don't think he can ever recover like it did for Dez. He can be in the league. He can be, he's the name Dez Bryant. He's the name Odell Beckham Jr. But when I'm looking at a team and I'm saying, do I want a long-term deal with this guy? Or do I want to go after Jarvis Landry instead? I'm kind of passing on Odell. I don't like the body language. I don't like the bad attitude whenever things go wrong. And I get that's his personal thing. That's what he likes to do. But I don't like it. And with the injuries that have occurred over the last few years, including this one, is it really worth it to me to spend a lot of money on a guy that has the injuries, has the bad attitude, has the swagger that could go wrong very quickly and become the next Dez Bryant? No.
I'm gonna say this real quick so you can get on to your last loser. What pains me about the whole Odell situation is that when he was in New York, he was on top of the world. In my opinion, he was a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah.
Even with the tantrums, the last 2 seasons he was there. I mean, I get it. Like I said, we personally saw it with Dez as Cowboy fans. But, the thing that I don't understand is that the thing that makes me sad is you, as Odell, you played with Eli Manning. Eli Manning was a good quarterback, okay? But technically, Baker Mayfield should have been an upgrade. The Browns' offensive system should have been an upgrade because OBJ left when the New York Giants were deteriorating somewhat. Because they did have Barkley, they did have Shepard, they did have Ingram. I get it.
But it was just a whole different.
I get it. It was a whole different. Yes. That's why I'm saying slightly deteriorating. This should have been an upgrade. This should have, if anything, ascended his career. Now I get it. Freddie Kitchens was not the best choice. I get it. But this year, I really thought was going to be the year that Odell would flourish 100%, get back to his top form. Damn, it sucks, man. It sucks. I hate the fact that he got injured on Sunday. I hate it. Just because everything about his career was up here 4 years ago. Up here. And it slowly just... I don't like it.
I don't know, man. It's just always a tough thing with Odell because he sometimes shoots himself in the foot with his character and what he does off the field. And like I said, as long as you can do it on the field, as long as you can dish it out and take it, you can take the heat, you can take the bad things, and just come back stronger. I don't feel like that's him. I don't feel like that's the guy I want to trust for many years to come. And whether he stays in Cleveland or not, I don't know. I don't think they should. I honestly feel like they can flourish better without Odell. I really would give that a shot because
still get value for him if they want to trade.
Oh yeah, they'll get value out of them. You know, New England can just get him off for like a 6th round pick and just make him to the greatest wide receiver of all time. But for now, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. So
well, sir, since we shared one, please go again.
Well, Odell. Stephen A. Shit really hits the fan with Odell.
Damn it.
So number 3,
damn it.
last loser of the week is going to be the Chicago Bears offense. Not much here to say. I think it's been said before. Allen Robinson, I would get the fuck out of there. And they have.
Technically, he is trying to get out of there.
Well, according to his agent, he's not.
Oh.
So when they were
just
having,
like that.
Well, when the day that it happened, where they announced or reported that he wanted to get out of there with a trade, his agent then came out and said, none of that ever happened. We never said we wanted a trade. But they never said not. They never not said that they didn't want to trade. Man, what? But yeah. So, I mean, you got what, a week left, and
Is it a week? It's a week, right?
November 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a week. Okay.
But I'm looking at Nick Foles not being the guy. Never been the guy. You had the great story in Philadelphia, but everything else has just not flourished in the way that you want it to. They don't have a quarterback. They don't have a running back. David Montgomery's not it.
No. I was very mind blown and very confused when people were on the hype train for him this season. I was like, why?
Yeah.
What's your prior evidence?
No, I feel like it's just a bad situation offensively, and it's their defense that's really putting them in football games. That's allowing them to be in football games.
A very 2016 Jacksonville team.
Like, their secondary is playing better than ever. I mean, Justin Johnson. Is it Justin Johnson?
It's Justice from the Rams.
Who's I'm sorry.
Tashad Gibson, I think. Is
No. They're safety. He was from Utah. Where am I? Bears. I'm so sorry for getting the name. That's on me. Jalen Johnson. My apologies. Jalen Johnson from Utah, who I didn't love coming out of college. I watched his film and I was like, look, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the potential here. And has come out and been the best cornerback. I thought he was a safety, but he's a cornerback. He's been one of the best rookie cornerbacks in the league, outplaying C.J. Henderson, outplaying a lot of these other guys. And statistically, he's probably even just the best cornerbacks in general. And then you look at the front. You got Raquan Smith, Khalil Mack, Danny Trevathan. You got Akeem Hicks. Like, this group, led by Chuck Pagano.
Robert Quinn.
Yeah, Robert Quinn, who they got this year. Oh my God, that was such a good decision by them. Like, it's all there for their defense. Their defense should never lose. If you just make it a time of possession game and you just stay on the field offensively to give your defense some rest, they'll do the rest. They will take care of you. They will make sure you get the ball because they will turn over the ball. It's absolutely ridiculous how good this defense can be. And this offense can't even put up 2 touchdowns. Oh. And your best offensive performances against the Atlanta Falcons, whoop-dee-dee-fucking-do. Throw that out the window because that doesn't matter. That's not going to hold up. How can you be this bad of a football team at 5-2? That doesn't make sense to me. And I'm looking at the record. I looked at the record, and I'm like, look, there's nothing to show here. You look, week 1 against the Lions. Well, it was week 1. I don't think the Lions knew what they were doing. They've really progressed.
Technically, they should have lost that game.
Yeah. And yeah, because DeAndre Swift dropped that touchdown. But the Lions have really progressed ever since week 1. They really have. I think they've done a really good job. The Giants, week 2, who cares? The Falcons win, who cares? They lost to the Colts, who I'm not high on because of Phillip Rivers, but I think they have a good team. They beat the Bucs, which was just a horrible game to watch overall. It was like the worst Bucs team I've seen all season, and I know that you're hesitant about the Bucs, but I think that was just a really bad showing, and they really bounced back from that. They beat the Panthers, who are competitive, and they only lost by a touchdown. So, like, the Panthers are going to stay in football games, but they just need some time. I think the Panthers are doing really well this season, though. And then you lose to the Rams. So what I'm looking at is that a team that hasn't played the Packers yet in either of their matchups this season.
That's a good point.
And then you look at the rest of the schedule. They go against the Saints. That'll be a good test. If you show me a competitive nature on your offense against the Saints, I think, okay, we can grow from there. Then you go against the Titans. God help you against the Titans. Minnesota can be hit or miss offensively. They can be explosive with Justin Jefferson, but depending on Kirk Cousins' play, I don't know yet. Then they go against the Packers. Then we'll really see. or what they're all about. You get the rematch against the Lions, who I think the Lions can beat them in that rematch.
I think they can too. Yeah.
You got Houston Texans, iffy. Minnesota again. Jaguars, that's a dub. And then your last game of the season is against the Packers again. How can we really judge what the Bears are without going against the best team in your division? You can easily get a wild card if you didn't have to deal with the Packers. But I think teams playing them this season, and if they're going to match up with them in the playoffs, will look at that Packers game and say, how well do they do? Can they really stop Aaron Rodgers? If they do, can they get the points for it? Can they really put some points on the board? Because that defense does allow a lot of yards, does allow some points. Let's see how they do against that. But for right now, a 5-2 team is very deceiving. It's a judge a book by its cover type of thing. That this Bears team is not 5-2. I don't care what you say. This defense is 5-2. But
the defense is 5-2. Yeah.
You can't judge a whole team by its defense. Jacksonville got so far, but it was a matter of time before that offense would really kill them. And it did in the AFC Championship. Actually, no. Blake Bortles did play pretty well in the AFC Championship, but you need more than that, right? You need a Nick Foles Super Bowl performance at some point. But for right now, I'm just like, who's scared of this offense? Who's scared of them?
No one.
I wouldn't be scared. I'd say, like, we're going to win ugly because we're probably not going to score a lot of points offensively against Khalil Mack. But offensively, who's scared of Nick Foles? Who's scared of David Montgomery? Absolutely no one. So, Chicago Bears offense? All
No.
right. Well, sir, was that all your losers?
Yeah, remember we shared.
We shared one.
We shared one. We shared Cammy.
Well, this was a pretty long one. So, this will do it for episode 181 of the Bubble Let Sports podcast. Winners and losers of Week 7. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube. We are at 87 subscribers now. We just gained one in the last few hours.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah. So, subscribe. Support the podcast by being a member for $1, $5, or $10 a month. Make sure to follow the podcast on all audio platforms, and make sure to donate to Irving's Cancer Treatment GoFundMe. The link will be in the description down below. So thank you, Kevin, once again.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
And we'll see you next week on Winners and Losers for Week 8. And we're going to do an episode where we do our halfway mark of our predictions at the beginning of the season. Remember that.
Ooh.
So
that's
we got to
yes.
keep up with that. And we'll do some fun videos over the next week. But thank you again, and we'll see you next time on the Bubble Let Sports podcast.
Yeah, hold on. Tell me who's your top 5 quarterbacks right now, dead or alive, huh? And how much do you care about a ring if the best player got carried by the team? Now, would you lose if it been a better draft pick? And do you cuss when your team get their ass kicked? Now, do you keep it classy or you